All right. Well, I seem to be in the rather unique position of being one of the few people who doesn't want free money. Yeah, I know it's weird. It's definitely not normal. I can admit that. But here we are. And I think it's all about deservingness. I don't believe I deserve a bunch of free money. And I think that's a problem that we have a lot of folks feeling as though they do deserve to have, things given to them and given to them for free. I was a bum on the street. I literally lived on the street, and nobody helped me, and I stole. I stole food all the time. I stole clothing, um, anything that I could possibly need. You know, I got it from stores, from businesses that I thought wouldn't even matter. It wouldn't matter, right? So as I sat there and I walked into these stores in this particular place that I like to haunt, this place that became my watering trough, I would go in there and I would take what I want. And I would say to myself, hey, I'm not stealing from my friends. I'm not stealing from, like, my family. I'm stealing from a company, a corporation, somebody that's got insurance, right, on this stolen merchandise. Well, that company relies on making money, too. It relies on business. So I was taking from that company that I admittedly needed things from anyway. So I was one of those people who would say to you, I think the government should give everybody in the whole country a specific amount of money to live on every month. And I probably would have, went into the streets about that. I probably, if I was the guy I was, 10 years ago, probably would have donned black and red and went out in the streets with Antifa, went out to the White House and cussed at the gate like they like to do. But I didn't end up doing that. I ended up deciding that getting a job and having people that I care about be safe and taken care of was an important thing. I didn't want to be just a ghost in the shadows anymore. And I went about many different ways. I went about many different. Let me get my mouth right. I just woke up, guys. As you can see, I'm having my coffee, so it hasn't quite kicked in yet. But I went about trying to get my life together in many different ways, and a lot of them didn't work out. I wasn't probably even interested in it. I just knew it had to be done. And that's one of the things that I think we really got to get focused on here, people. There's a lot of things we're not interested in, and there's a lot of things that we don't want to do. But they are things that have to be done. So at the end of the day, it's going to be up to us people. I am just a person here in this world. Hey. So somebody just contacted me to tell me that their elderly mother is okay, and not sick at the moment, although she's having her own problems. Speaking of people, getting up and doing things that need to be done, it's kind of crazy when you think about the elderly and what they have to go through. This woman just went through back surgery, had her whole back cut open, and she's, 80 maybe. Can you imagine? I can't even imagine going through that now. And I was terrified to go into the dentist because I need to get work done. And I've never went into a dentist. Actually, no, I did go into a dentist for like some checkups and shit. But after like a certain age, I never voluntarily entered a dentist office. And I think it had to do with an early on experience that I didn't enjoy. But seeing this woman go ahead and get her back split open because she needed surgery done to relieve pain, it just was like, go the fuck in there, Andy. All you're doing is allowing somebody to drill into your face. I had to get root canals done. Eventually, there's going to be a whole rebuilding process because, honestly, not living by the rules and not doing things the way you should do them really fucks you up in the long run. You want to talk about the long run? I have some underlying health issues. It's not detrimental. I'm not dying from anything. Knock on wood. But I didn't take care of myself. I didn't think ahead and think, you're homeless, Andy. What are some of the things that you are not doing every day? Well, I shower every day. I brush my teeth. I do all the things I'm supposed to do. I wear clean socks and clean underwear. Yeah, but you're not eating right. You're not eating right at all. You're not consuming the proper things that you need to consume. You're literally stealing tiny items from the aisle at CVS. How much nutrition do you think a person can really get from the aisle at CVS? Or, you know what I mean? What's the quality of life that you're going to get? I mean, eventually I upped my game and I became savage mode when it came to shoplifting. So I was literally walking out of places with huge bags and nobody would say anything to me. And it's all about the mind game. It's all about, like, making people not look at you. Because the moment they looked at you before, you were fine. They didn't think anything about you. Kind of resonates into the whole stealing thing. None of this, see, all of this stuff, it appealed to me growing up. I was thinking, like, man, I'm off the grid. I'm Batman. I go hang out on rooftops. I smoke a lot of green, and I get everything I need whenever I need it. I can get things at any time of day or night, and that's just the way I felt really comfortable. I was like that for 7 years, maybe 8 years. I just was like, I'm going to be homeless. And there was times where I became unhomeless and it didn't work out. It was like, who the hell wants me to be in the cage with them? Like, I'm a wild animal. You don't want me in the cage with you. I gotta be outside the cage somewhere doing my own thing. Well, that was then, and this is now. I have some regrets in my life that I want to fix. I have some things that I want to go for my future. I have a lot of plans, and I know that the only way for me to get that is to follow along with the way things were. This country is set up to where if you play by the rules, you can make something out of yourself. I made something out of myself from nothing. I had nothing. I had nothing but some kind of, I guess, charisma that was attracting certain people to me that kept me going. I managed to find the right jobs that would hold on to me and do me right. And I kept looking for them. I was a lifeguard at the age of 40, okay? I was a 40-year-old lifeguard. Was I 40? Nah, maybe 38. It's been a little while. Maybe I was 38 or 39. But I decided I'm going to go be a lifeguard. That's it. Um, I wanted just to live at the pool for a summer, and I did it. It was okay. It was an okay gig, but the entire time I was looking for another job. I was looking for a print job, you know. Eventually, I found a job at a vape shop. Literally, I was running the vape shop. Like, nobody was there. It was just me running this big vape shop selling. And I was doing a very good job selling. Giving people the mods that they were looking for, the things that they needed, I was giving them. But I started to really feel shitty about selling vape products to people because I started thinking to myself, this vape doesn't make me feel good. It's I've been vaping. I started vaping and I did it for about 4 or 5 months, and it just was not good. It fucked with my insides. It made me I didn't feel like I could sleep well at night. As far as breathing is concerned, I was coughing, and eventually it led to me noticing that not only did I lose two of my teeth in the front, not really lose them, but they're just kind of fucked up and I need to get them fixed. But all the other people that were vaping, their teeth were fucked up too. All their teeth were turning yellow, and I was noticing like they're like the guys that worked with me and stuff, they would always have like teeth whitener strips in the back, which really fuck your teeth up. Don't use those whitener strips, man. Especially if you have sensitive teeth, you'll be in pain for days and days. But that's besides the point. I didn't want to sell snake oil anymore. And that's kind of what I thought I was doing. And it all was just a part of me coming to this awakening of honor. We really have to have honor, you know? Like, I was not aware of this. I remember watching the movies. I remember watching the knight in shining armor who was chivalrous, and I remember watching the samurai warrior who only had his honor. It was all about his honor and a man's word as his honor. But I didn't grow up with that as a symbol in my life. I grew up with a more rustic idol to look up to. You know, somebody who just didn't have any real vision besides his own addiction. That was a big problem. I had kids, and I imagine that if I was permitted to be with them right now, that I'd be showing them all kinds of things that I think they need to know. Like, lots of stuff they need to know that I had to find out on my own. I had to learn how to camp by myself. I never went camping with my dad. Throwing the football, none of that. I had to learn all of that on my own with my friends. The only thing that I could learn from my dad was basically what wrenches to hand him while he was working on the car, you know. He also taught me about music, though. That's a whole nother side of it. See, when you can say somebody didn't teach me anything about all of the important things, but maybe that person wasn't that. Now, my father likes to come off as a tough guy. You know, he really likes to come off as a tough guy. But I think deep down he's like me. He wants to create art. He wants to do that. He wants to be known for that. He doesn't want to have to put his fists up anymore to live in this world. You know, put your guard up at your job. Put your guard up around everybody else. And then when you get home, let your guard down and take all of that anger from the day out on your family. How many different types of people are there in this world? And what do we deserve? This is my point. If I was sitting across from Bill Clinton and I was interviewing him, and I was being tough with him. I'm sure his personality, he would be able to like hound me down. If I was sitting across from any real strong celebrity, somebody who considers himself powerful, they would be more powerful than me. They would force their will on me, and I would have to struggle to kind of keep up and figure out what's the next move, and I may not even have the next move. Or would I? Or would I just be literally more powerful than them? We're all equal in this world. That person believes that they deserve more than me because they made it farther up the maze. I feel like we all deserve a chance. That's it. Nobody deserves anything they haven't earned. Nobody deserves it. I mean, I do believe that the word deserving is rooted in earning. Like you have to earn something and then you deserve it. Everybody needs to get jobs. And if you can't get jobs, you're probably already on disability or welfare or something like that and getting food stamps. So this definitely is not something that's affecting the poorest of the poor. Aside from the fact of them being closer together and always doing things together and being like in communities more. Because you think about it, a mom is at home with her kids and her kids are out running around, and even right now the schools are out, so that's a thing. Kids could be just bringing it back in. We had a don't go outside order. You think that's happening around here? You think that's happening? It's not happening. So, folks, I just wanted to talk to you. Honestly, I went way off the rails. But what was on my mind was the idea of deserving. And I mean, I like to think that that everybody deserves something, right? But you could deserve something horrible. You could deserve to be killed. You could deserve lots of things. There are these words that we've put up as positivity, which are not positive, and we're being brainwashed on such high levels. Our pineal gland is shriveled and gone. What are we gonna do with that? You have to have a certain diet and a certain regimen. You have to have a certain sense of conviction to stick with that. What is it the military teaches you how to be disciplined? You have to be disciplined in order to get yourself physically back to where you need to be, in order to be mentally and emotionally what you need to be, in order to deserve your ideas to be taken seriously. I mean it. If you are not physically of a sound body, I can assume that you are not of sound mind. That even though you may put up an amazing front at being a great person or having some great talent or great wisdom, there's always going to be that pitfall, and there's always going to be a way to make you crumble and make you crack because you have too many weaknesses. Too many weaknesses. Work hard to make your body an efficient and reliable machine. Otherwise, I don't think that your opinion matters. I'm not going to click like on any of the stuff that you post. I'm going to seriously ignore you. And if you get mad at me, I'll assume that I found one of your pitfalls and you are crumbling in that area. And I would suggest that if you do not want to confront or face any of your pitfalls or any of your misgivings, i.e., hey, you smoke cigarettes, you're a fucking idiot for that. Let's all not be idiots together. I don't know. I would quit this if I could get, I'll tell you what, I will quit smoking cigarettes if I get 100 subscribers and 10 of them do it with me. That's it. If I get 100 subscribers, I will quit smoking cigarettes for an extended period of time. I will try my best to enjoy quitting. I will quit, but I will try to actually make it a good thing, as opposed to every time I've had to quit, which is jail, where I was like, fucking shit, I want a cigarette immediately. As soon as I get out of jail, I'm like, oh, because, dude, you haven't smoked in like months and months, and then you smoke a fucking red, and you're like me. The first thing I did was pulled the filter out like this, and then I ripped it in half, threw half of it away, stuck the other half back in, because I don't want any tobacco in my mouth, but I don't want a filter on my cigarette. Sort of a masochistic quality, which I have many masochistic qualities. Almost no sadistic qualities. There's like almost none, except for the idea of using masochism to hurt another person. Like hurting myself to hurt somebody else, that is extremely sadistic. So that's something I try to shy away from. But as far as masochism goes, I want to feel this cigarette fill my lungs, and I want to feel it punch me every time I hit it. I want to feel like I am doing something. You ever smoked a Marlboro Light? I mean, you take a drag of that thing and it's like air. It tastes like condensed milk in my mouth. I don't want that at all. There's this whole thing going on with schooling, and I started smoking in school, right? And I noticed that a lot of the bad things I started doing in school. And school has become a place where we just hang out. And there's a bunch of tests we have to do, which are like final bosses. Honestly, the test is just like a final boss. And it doesn't matter how you get to the final boss. You know, what, King Koopa? It doesn't matter if you use the warp whistles and you get there and you fight him and win. You win, right? You can still say, I beat Super Mario. But what about those people who went through every level? Those people who collected everything they could collect. Those people who know where the whistles are, but they pass them by because they like to do the little things where they fly and get up in the secret spots. And there's lots of those in life. Just like there's lots of those in Super Mario, there's lots of those in life. Little secret spots where if you run here and jump, you'll get to a cool place that you didn't even know was there. Lots of those things. I'm in a cool place right now. I feel like it. And I just ran and jumped. I took a bunch of money that I saved up for actually doing something, and I used it on this something. I was saving up for another thing, but I decided to do this. It turns out to be kind of fateful, to be quite honest, because I would be sitting here talking to myself and it would be insanity. But instead, I'm sitting here talking to myself, and it's a YouTube video. So, we'll be thankful that for some strange, crazy reason, I decided to buy microphones and start this thing. I just decided to do it. And it was before the coronavirus. So, I got these mics literally like a couple days before the coronavirus struck. maybe a week before, and then my laptop got destroyed, so I had to buy a new one. And then, bang, Corona. Everybody get locked down. Everybody stay in your house. Nobody trust each other. Keep your eyes peeled. If anybody's coughing, post it on social media that they're fucktards. That way everybody else will comment back that they would have punched that bitch in the face. Cough around me, I'll punch that bitch in the face. It's happening. It's happening out there. I saw an altercation at Walmart based solely on somebody coughing. I cough. I walk around and sometimes I cough. I'm a smoker. I have a year-round consummate. You know, it's just there. Clearing my throat. Sometimes if I look up at the sun, I'll sneeze. Somebody's going to be like, Corona. Uh-oh, that guy sneezed. We have literally seconds to get 4 miles away. Because as we all know, the coronavirus has little wings and it zips up in the air. And then if it spots a person, it flies down at their face and tries to land right on their eye. And coronavirus has a very, very accurate, very, very small range where they're just accurate down to a pinpoint so they can fly right into your freaking tear duct and start swimming. And then once they swim, they get inside and they wrap themselves around your brain and they start to liquefy your mind. Your mind becomes a tragic tale of sorrow and woe as your body shrivels up. And then everybody knows the coronavirus is deadly. There's only one reason that it would be so concentrated in these certain areas that it's concentrated, and that's because somebody is concentrating on concentrating it. My heart goes out to those people that are dying. There are people dying. I've seen it. I've seen it with my eyes. And when you say, hey, all you saw was a video, right? All I saw was a video. Okay. And it could have been edited, right? The person taking the video could have been lying about the date, about when this was happening and why this was happening. It could have been. But what are you, a conspiracy theorist? Do you think everything's a conspiracy? Now you think everybody out in New York City is lying? The people that are lying are the people that are telling you things that they think are facts. So if you hear somebody saying something like, the coronavirus happened because of this, and if this didn't happen, then if this wouldn't have happened, those are the liars. Those are people trying to manipulate you and make you think their way. They just want you to think their way because they want you to be locked down and under their control. As of right now, our country is literally communist. Everybody's relying on the government to be daddy. All of you families out there have a husband and a wife. At least I'm saying families with children, families. There's usually a provider. It may not be a husband. It may be a female provider. Maybe a gay couple. Whatever the case may be. There's a provider. Somebody who is making sure that all the ends are met. And somebody who's going out and working. That's what our economy is built on. That each person provides for their own home. And in that, we were able to make our homes humongous. Some of us didn't care. Some of us don't care. But some of us make our homes great places to be. I'm not so sad to be locked in my house because it's my place. I fucking made it right? I have all my stuffs here. I wouldn't want to be locked in your house for fucking a month or two because nothing of mine is there and it's all set up for you. So why would you mind being locked in your house? I think a lot of you don't mind it at all. I think a lot of you secretly hope that this all turns out to be our pathway to communism, where all of the heads of household, the power is taken away from them, and the government pays now. That's what's happening. If there's a man and a woman, the man used to go to work and he works at, some government facility and they're shut down. So now he's at home with his wife and both of them are equal now. Period. Both of them are waiting for the government to send a check. Guy works, at the mall. Malls are shut down. He was supporting his family, right? Now he is in the exact same boat as his wife. And she is now like, hey, I'm going to be equal to you now because I want the government to give us the money. That way I'm not dependent on you at all. This way we can split families up completely split families up. Everybody's going to go their separate ways. If everybody's getting money equally from the government, we're all going to go our separate ways. There's going to be so many people that are just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be involved in family. I don't want to have kids. I don't want to. Well, guys, I'm going to leave you because I think I've said enough. I think the main purpose of this whole thing is just to kind of ask you, why do you think you deserve respect? Because you're a human? Because there are some humans out there who we do not respect, right? So is it just because you're a human? Is it because you've never hurt anybody that you deserve respect? That you deserve to be taken care of? This is not facetious either, and I'm not saying you don't deserve. I'm asking you to really, really analyze and say, hey, as a person, how much have I done for the world around me? And do I deserve all of the respect that I am asking for? That's it. Because some people want respect. Some people want obedience. Some people want, complete and total complacence. And I don't really think anybody deserves that. If there's anybody I think deserves something like that, I would say Elon Musk. Elon Musk deserves our respect. Other than that, what? I want to go to the moon. I want to go to Mars. I think that that's good for us. I think that would be good for us. I think that this guy's trying to figure out a way to get us transported between far away places out to the cities easier and quicker. That would help us with our congestion problems. It would help us with so many things if we could just move faster. And that's the things he's working on. So I say, as long as lots of his ideas are working, then we should. Then he deserves our respect and our obedience. If Elon Musk was to say, "Hey, everybody, lock down. This is happening. Everybody, it's now a danger," I would probably listen. Bill Gates, he's got too much money involved in this whole thing. The same with lots of people. Even Donald Trump, and I'm not a Trump hater. I'm not. But do I completely trust what he's doing here? I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what anybody's doing. And I can't trust anybody. That's for damn sure. There's only probably 4 people I know I can trust. How many people do you know you can trust? Can you make it to 4? And if you're sitting here counting and you're like, man, I got 10, 15, 16, Go back, do the math again, because you're trusting way too many people. Shit, you should second guess yourself. You should second guess almost every thought you have. Second guess it. Because you could be wrong. You could be fucking dead wrong. And spreading misinformation. I could be too. But guess what? Don't come to me for the news. This is just an opinion piece. I'm just here to talk opinions. And man, this shit got serious. Well, if you guys want to see more lighthearted content, I would suggest being more lighthearted. Put out what you want in, right? Put out what you want in. Let's see some funny stuff, okay? I'll put another video out, and I'll try to make it interesting and not about society and viruses and everything, because it is going to be episode 10 next, guys. And it's going to be a little different, so you don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. Like, subscribe, send this out, share it. Just, people will think, why would you share this? What's the message in there? There's a message, okay? There's a message. You just have to dig it out. You have to find it for yourself. All right, guys. I'm going to take this little mouse right here. We call it a mouse, but it's actually a remote clicker. It's not even remote, really. It's wired in. It's basically just a selection button, a select button, separate from the machine itself. And I'm going to push down right there, and it's going to end this broadcast. No, God, I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss bitching and complaining about society. But don't worry. I'm sure one of these days, how about episode 15, we'll go back to bitching and complaining. But I'm going to take off bitching and complaining for a little while. All right, signing off. Enjoy your day.